Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Spice and Wolf episode 21. So, what did I think about this week's episode? Honestly, I really enjoyed this week's episode. I thought it was a perfect mix between mystery as well as a lot of fun and silliness, because like the beginning of the episode was just pretty much Hollow and Lawrence just messing around, just having a few drinks and having fun. But also this episode had a lot of lore, exploring, the whole pagan gods and all that of the story, and I thought that was very interesting, as well as, like I said, it really opened the doors for like a little mystery that's going on in the village, because there's a lot of secrets, and those secrets I'm sure will be, expanded upon in the later episodes. Now, before I go any further with this week's episode, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Spice and Wolf, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. So this week's episode starts off where we see pretty much Hollow just having a blast. She's at this inn, she's just drinking it up with Lawrence, and they're just, going ham. Like, they're just enjoying these beers, nonstop. And, I don't blame them. I mean, if you're going to have this type of enjoyment in the village, you might as well, enjoy yourself to the fullest. They're just drinking it up, enjoying their time. And as all that is happening, we see this one lady shows up, and she's the one that's in charge of the whole entire inn, or the tavern, should I say. And she just explains how this came about, how she was like, poor, and how she came, her whole life story about how she was able to come to this village, eventually married her husband and opened this tavern and all that. And, the nice little mention was that there was pirates that was happening in this world. So that was a nice little, introduction of more lore, as well as it once again, increased the world building in this story, which I really appreciated, and the stories. And, it's just fun. It's just a fun, silly, adventure between Hollow and Lawrence. And now there's pirates in the mix, so that was fun. Now, after that, we pretty much catch up with what the villagers are talking with Lawrence, and as they're drinking. And we see that they're expanding upon, like, this pagan god, that's their god in the village, which is this snake this snake kind of entity it's the one that gives them their crops and all that. And it's very fascinating, because we also know that obviously when Lawrence went to the elders' house, there was a snake figure there, like a statue, and now we know why, because it was one of the pagan gods that they obviously devote themselves to. And as they're drinking, eventually Hollow, she's knocked out, she goes to sleep, and Lawrence is like, all right, gotta take her back to the inn. So he carries her, and she's like, oh, I'm drunk. And it was typical boyfriend girlfriend fashion. The girlfriend gets too drunk, and then the boyfriend has to take care of them, and hey, vice versa too. Sometimes the boyfriend gets completely hammered and the girlfriend gets to take over. So it was just fun little interaction between these two I really enjoyed. And as they go back to the inn, we see that the next morning Hollow wakes up, and she's just like, because one of the ladies at the inn gave them some fruits so they can cure the hangover. And Hollow's trying to dig into them, and in the morning she's kind of disgusted, like, what is this? And from the looks of it, they look like pomegranates, kind of, because they had those little seeds inside. I think they were pomegranates. And you see Hollow just like, ew, it was so sour, I didn't like it. Like, it definitely woke me up, though. I'm definitely not sober. I'm definitely sober now, for sure. And pretty much what happens is, Lawrence just tells Hollow, like, hey, something's off in this village. I'm wondering what it is. Like, and he tells Hollow, like, you know what, maybe you should get some rest. I'm gonna go and explore, because as you see Lawrence, he also poked out the window. He saw that Evan, the Miller guy, from the previous episode, we see that he notices him coming out of the church, where obviously that's where Elsa's in, and he's like, I'm gonna get some answers. So he leaves, and obviously Hollow's like, hey, if you're gonna go, give me a souvenir, don't forget that. And pretty much when Lawrence leaves, he goes and talks to Evan, and he goes to his windmill thing, and they start chatting. It's like, hey man, so what's the deal, bro? Like, what's up with this between Embark and this town, or what's the exchange between these two? Why are they so at peace? Like, what did Father Fans, I think that's the guy's name, how was he able to make this deal so, like, peaceful between these two towns? And we find out that the reason was because apparently there's an agreement, something along the lines like, we don't have to pay the village, the pagan village that they're staying at the time, they don't have to pay for any kind of punitive taxes, except for pretty much clothing and alcohol, I think. And in exchange, they can only get their wheat from them. I forget the exact specifics or something like that, but the point is they made it so it's a very equal footing kind of deal. And Lawrence is like surprised by the whole thing. He's like, wait, this is like unheard of. Like I've heard about like 50-50 deals, but like I never heard of something as, you know, generous as this deal. This sounds like pretty cool, like pretty chill. And pretty much as we keep seeing Evan talking to Lawrence, you know, he gets more info on it, and eventually Lawrence just leaves the cat, like he gets the cat out of the bag. He's just like, hey, so I saw you like, you know, coming out of Elsa's place. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, she's just so nice, she's such a nice lady. He's like, bro, you got caught, all right, but just admit to it. And you see that he's just like, yeah, you know, she's been pretty stressed as of late, but you know, thankfully she's has me to like talk to. And Lawrence is just like, yeah, when she met us, like she was kind of like mean, like, and he's like, what, really? She's such a nice girl, like she always tells me everything, but she didn't tell me that you guys visited them. He's like, huh, I wonder why. And pretty much Lawrence is like, you know, because he went there to get some weed turned into like grain or something, like it's bread. He's like, he made it so like the water and all that. So he's like, okay, here's your bread, just make sure you don't steer it before you make it into bread or whatever. And he's like, okay. So then as Lawrence goes back to the village, and that's when he starts explaining to Hollow once he gets back in the inn, like, hey, I think I kind of figure everything out. And he's saying that pretty much the reason everybody's kind of sketched out at the moment in the village, and like how, you know, Lawrence feels like they're at danger, is because there's a conflict, like we know, between the church and obviously this town. And the reason is, now that Lawrence starts piecing everything together after talking to Evan, he starts realizing like Father Fans had made a deal. Now, this deal, obviously, once he passed away, this deal has been trying to be broken ever since he passed away. So now Lawrence is trying to figure everything out, and he's connecting. He's like, okay, so here's the deal. What's going to happen is pretty much the church is going to try to, you know, attack this village once they find out it's like a pagan style of church, like a pagan style type of village. They're going to like try to make their move and like try to take over. Hence why Father Fans put this church here. So therefore the church themselves cannot be you know, they cannot interfere, because like they do have a place of their church here, so they can really interfere with this, even though the villagers themselves don't care for that church at all, because they're pagans. And pretty much that's my understanding on it. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section below, but I think that's what it was. Like the Lawrence was trying to break down. He's like, listen, so we got to make sure that, you know, the reason Elsa's still here and what she took over is because the Father Fans probably was spreading some pagan's tales or something along those lines. And obviously she would be the one that knows about the abbey, the one that we're trying to find out, and, you know, the whole story to your town, Hollow, and all that. But she obviously doesn't want to tell us because it's obviously sketchy, because obviously we're outsiders, and, you know, she wouldn't just risk her entire life and everything for that. Hence why obviously the Elder is in on it as well, from what Lawrence is saying. And pretty much Lawrence is like, we might have to back out. And then Hollow's like, is it that dangerous? It's like, yeah. And he's like, well, I mean, if you want to do that, sure, whatever, I'm fine with it. But I mean, can I ask you for something? And then Lawrence is like, yeah, I'll back you up on anything. Tell me. He's like, how about we actually continue in this dangerous and then in this dangerous territory? Like, how about we continue and solve this whole mystery? And Lawrence's like, are you crazy? Are you nuts? It's like, come on, I have a plan. It's like, let's do this. Just follow my lead and we'll get to it. And Lawrence is like, all right, I guess we'll do it. And that's how pretty much the episode ends. So now it seems like, you know, for the remaining episodes, we're going to see Lawrence and Hollow try to dig in deeper into this whole mystery and try to solve it and get answers for, you know, the whole bear, the destroyed Yuitsu, you know, the town of Hollow. And she's just trying to learn more like backstory and, you know, just any background into her, you know, hometown and her friends and all that. She's just trying to collect tales, and we see that that's pretty much where the story is gonna seems to be heading towards at the end of this arc. So I'm very excited for it. I can't wait to see it, because this is all new content for me. So I'm not a light novel reader, so I can't wait to see what happens going forward. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was all right? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Spice and Wolf, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.